I just recently got gifted that bread maker right there, and it came with this recipe book here. There are 77 different recipes in here, and I've already made 2 of them, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But I want to do all of these recipes, or almost all of them. Some of them are not bread. You can make like jam, sourdough starter, yogurt. But first I have to talk about all of the ones that I've made already. There's only 2. I'm actually eating one right now still. The first one that I made, oh, by the way, I've been making my own bread at home already. So I got this as a gift from my mom. This is the first loaf of bread that I made. I know I shouldn't store bread in the refrigerator, whatever. It helps it last longer because I don't go through it super fast. This is chocolate bread. This bread does not taste like chocolate. It doesn't. I could make a sandwich with this, which is weird because it literally has cocoa powder and chocolate chips in it. The texture of this one is amazing. I'd probably give this loaf like a 4 out of 10 because it's not giving what it was supposed to be giving. Now this is a chocolate cake. Now in the recipe book, it says chocolate cake, and I was expecting it to give chocolate cake, but this is more of like a plain cake with chocolate chips in it, so do with that what you will. Texture is awesome. Like, this is what I would want for texture in a cake. Flavor, it could use a little more depth. I feel like if you added some like vanilla and a little bit of salt, I feel like this would have made it a lot better. But the cake part is very like flat. The chocolate chips do make it a lot better, but it's not a bad cake. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. There's one crucial thing that I have to tell you though. This may or may not invalidate all of my opinions on these recipes. I do have to make vegan versions of most of these recipes that call for milk and eggs because, no, I'm not vegan. I'm breastfeeding right now, and this guy has a lot of intolerances, so I can't eat dairy, soy, or eggs right now. All of the eggs I substitute with aquafaba, which is an awesome egg substitute, by the way, in like baking recipes. And all the milk I substitute depending on the fat content of the milk called for in the recipe. I use coconut milk. It could be full fat or just regular old like coffee coconut milk. I also make my own vegan butter at home. I also use that for this recipe. I feel like it doesn't make a huge difference. I figured I should just start at number 1 with this video, which is basic white bread. This bread machine mixes it, it kneads it, it lets it rise, and it bakes it all for you. Literally just put the ingredients in there and leave it alone for a few hours. A few hours later, have a loaf of bread or whatever you want to make in there. Hair needs to be up for this.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
It calls for, there's 2 different recipes, one for all-purpose flour and one for bread flour. I'm using all-purpose. Room temperature water, right here, sugar, I don't have to make any substitutions for this one. I took this out of the bread machine and I literally just put all the ingredients in here. It has like a little paddle in there and it makes bread for me. The recipe does have cup measurements if you want to use cup measurements, but I have a scale, so I'm going to do grams to make this as accurate as possible. 320 grams of room temperature water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, you literally can't even see what I'm doing, 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. It says 2 1/2 tablespoons of olive oil. I don't have olive oil. I'm gonna use avocado oil. It'll be okay. 548 grams of all-purpose flour. 550, okay. It's okay. I just realized that I'm making a 2-pound loaf instead of a 1.5-pound loaf. You're supposed to start with a medium-sized loaf because it's like the most foolproof, but I guess I'm making the big one. I'm supposed to make like a well in the center for the yeast so that it doesn't touch the liquid before it's ready to start doing its thing. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. 4.5 grams. Put this in here. I'm sorry. I'm coming. Start. Ooh, you know what'd be cool? It'd be cool if I did like a time lapse of.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
I have the bread.
I got a cake too. Cake, but I've never even seen that.
That's a good sandwich bread. It's nice and moist. It holds together well. It's not too soft. A nice crust on it. I don't really have much to critique other than the bread dosi. 7.5 out of 10. Just because I feel like there's gonna be some really good ones. Like I saw onion bread in there. I feel like that's gonna be good.